Well, hello again. What speaks more Valentine than a Charlotte, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry Charlotte cake? And that will be in a heart spring form cake mold. If you don't have that, you can use a round or a square, whatever you have, no biggie. We're gonna also use lady fingers. I love my Italian Zovo, and you can find this in most supermarkets and international markets, and they're wonderful. This is how they look like, and you're gonna need about 30 pieces because we're gonna be lining the sides of that form and the bottom. We're gonna need 2 cups of raspberries, 2 cups of blackberries, and maybe 1/3 of a cup each will go to the side for garnishing later on. We're gonna need 2 cups of heavy cream that we're gonna be whipping in our KitchenAid machine, and a couple of spoons of vanilla extract. We're also gonna use unflavored Knox gelatin. This is the powdered one, and each packet is equivalent to 3 sheets of gelatin. And we're gonna have like 1/3 of a cup of water so we can open the gelatin and let it kind of soak in cold water, because later on when it's all absorbed, we're going to add it to our berry puree. This is what it looks like. You just spin it around a little bit and let it sit for a while. So first I'm going to put the whipping cream to get that whipped while we're getting ready for other things. We're also using a cup of sugar. Half is going to go in the whipped cream and half is going to go in the cooking process of the berries. I've added the 2 cups of heavy cream, and I'm whisking it with a couple of teaspoons of vanilla and half a cup of sugar. And you don't want it to be too hard. You want some nice soft peaks so it doesn't get too hard when we're incorporating it with the puree. Well, the whipped cream is ready, and it will be incorporated in a little bit. So I put 1 cup of the blackberries, 1 cup of raspberries, and I had about half a cup of strawberries in the fridge. I threw it in, but it's up to you if you want to add that. Then I put 2 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I'm throwing in half a cup of sugar. Then we're gonna put them on low heat and let it cook. Let all the berries release their beautiful juices with the sugar. And when it's all nice and cooked, we're gonna put them in a strainer like such and strain it really good so the puree comes out seedless. So I got my whipping cream done. I got my fruits cooking, and now I'm gonna start getting the pan ready with the lady fingers. We're gonna cut off about an inch off so it can fit in the pan. And don't throw this out because we're gonna need it for other things. Try to pick the better side, the better looking side, and then we're gonna line them up all next to each other. It's okay to have just a little bit hanging over, not much. You keep going like that, and then some of them kind of fall off, and just kind of try to be patient with it. It's got a lot of layers to this cake, but it's quite worth it once it's done. So the Charlotte cake, both the French and the English fight over the origin of it, as usual. But from the name, I would think it's more French than English. So don't worry about them falling over, just kind of angle it to a way where it doesn't fall over, and just keep continuing all aside. Ooh, look at this beautiful, almost jam. The berries are cooked. They released all the beautiful flavors and juices. And now we're ready to put it through the strainer. So now we are pushing the cooked berries through the strainer to get all the seeds and fibers in such a way so we can get a nice smooth sauce. And we're gonna keep that saucepan here because after we're done with the straining, we're gonna put this back in here and melt the gelatin in it. So now that the berries are all strained, nice smooth syrupy stuff here, we're putting it back in the saucepan, and we're throwing in the gelatin that's been sitting in the water absorbing. So we're putting it in, make sure there's no gelatin anymore. That's obvious. It's all dissolved. I cannot see any more gelatin, so I'm gonna say it's ready. So I'm gonna turn off the heat and put it somewhere to cool off. In a small bowl, we're gonna put about 1/3 of a cup of simple syrup. You can either make it yourself, or because it's such a small amount, I just bought the simple syrup master mixes, which you find in the alcohol department at the grocery store. And then while the biscotti is all up now, we're just gonna take some of that and brush to give it a nice little sweetness. One by one until they're all brushed. Now that we got all the lady fingers brushed with the simple syrup, we're gonna get some of those small pieces that we had to cut off and just kind of line the bottom any which way you want, as long as the bottom is completely lined. And don't be discouraged if some of these lady fingers fall over. You can always fix it with some of these lady fingers that we're putting in the bottom. Besides, once you start pouring in the cream and berry mix, it would push it to the side even more, and it will be perfect. So I'm just using all those pieces that we cut off at the end so we can stand the lady fingers on the side of the pan. Until you fill it all up. Now that we put all the little bits and pieces at the bottom with the remaining simple syrup, which simple syrup, by the way, is 2 cups of water, 1 cup of sugar. Put it on low heat until it gets reduced to this consistency, and it's used to sweeten the lady fingers. And you find it in the alcohol department in a supermarket, and they're used in a lot of different drinks too. You can check it out on the internet. So just keep brushing the sides. Now we're getting ready to put the berry mix in here. Stay tuned. Now we have this wonderful whipped cream and the cooled up raspberry syrup, and we're gonna slowly incorporate it after it was cooling off. Beautiful. So now you got your berries cooked, then run through a sieve, and then heat it up again with gelatin to dissolve it completely. And we had 2 cups of whipped cream ready to go. Just gonna fold it until nice and smooth. And if you want to add a little of your favorite liquor in there, why not? I have some Chambord, which is a black raspberry liqueur, and I'm just gonna put a few tablespoons there for kicks. You can put Grand Marnier if you want, a little amaretto, whatever. I'm gonna fold it real nice until it's all mixed nice and smooth. And all the berries are incorporated with the cream, the gelatin. Boy, I can't wait for this to be ready tomorrow. The best thing to do is to have it done overnight so it can sit well and stay together with the gelatin, the cold gelatin and everything. It's always good to also have the whipped cream in the bowl in the refrigerator just to keep it cool. So when you start mixing in the berries, it doesn't hurt it. Anyway, look at that. It's beautiful. believe that it's ready to go. So I'm gonna put half. I'm gonna keep the other half for the second layer. So the first layer, I'm putting half of the cream and berry mix. And while you're doing this, you're also supporting the ladyfinger on the side. See, it's not falling over anymore. Make it nice and smooth. Then I'm going to put a layer, just scattered around, some blackberries and raspberries. They're so sweet, by the way. I tried them earlier. Yummy. We're going to leave, remember to leave like half a cup of each for the top to decorate. That should be enough. And then we're gonna pour the last layer on. Look at that beautiful shallot. And it's spelled CHARLOTTE. Makes great dessert for any occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's, teas. That's a very elegant dessert to have at an afternoon tea, darling. Now we're gonna smooth that layer again over the berries. See how it supports now? All the lady fingers are nice and sturdy behind it. And then I think I would like to decorate it with some raspberries kind of piled up in the middle. Put some of the blackberries on the edge. Just make sure you have enough, because it won't look good if some has some berries and areas don't have it. So kind of scatter it out to make sure there's enough coverage. And you can go back in, fill the blanks like such. See, it's all filling out nicely. And I'm just gonna pile up a little bit of the raspberries on top so it looks like a heap in the middle. Cover it with plastic wrap. Put it in the fridge overnight. And when you're ready, we're gonna work on unveiling the shallot. Yummy! Can't wait.